Welcome back to the Ben and Rich YouTube channel. Well, guys, it is that time where it's, you know, you got to work on your own stuff every once in a while. The old Silverado, well, she's had a coolant leak for probably the past 2 years, but this guy here, working on my stuff and everybody else's stuff, you get caught up and you just add, right? Well, it's another wonderful, wintry, crappy day in Michigan, so I figured it's time to assess the problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pressure test it, see where our leak is, and hopefully get the parts today so we can get it wrapped up. So let's get started. All right, let's go ahead and pop this hood real quick. See what we got going on. These things here, guys, are really common for a couple things. It is an LS truck, of course, who would have thought, right? So really common spots to look on these GM trucks. Believe it or not, the water pump gaskets. Huge, 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 huge. I got a set just in case we need them. They're just aluminum, they corrode, the rubber gives out, and they leak, right? So that, and then also the radiator is common for cracking in the front. Now, I guess we'll see. I've changed more radiators than anything, believe it or not. So we're going to pressure test that and see what we got here. All right, pressure tester, we're using an old snap-on style, and then we got an adapter. So GM, their caps are different. Now there is Ford and all the different manufacturers have their own adapters. So keep in mind too, when you're pressure testing, you want to generally pressure test it somewhere near the cap. This dude's 20. So I like to get her around at least 15. That'll get her flowing, you know what I'm saying? So get this dude screwed on real fast. All right, biggest thing is, guys, you want to pressurize it to, you know, what the cap rating is. I mean, the cooling system already pressurized as is, right? So if there's a leak, it don't pressurize, so you can't see a leak generally. So what we're gonna do is force air in there with our little, and at that point, see if we can find it, right? All right, you can see we got her pumped up. We got her around, I don't know, 12, 13, but I did hear a little hissing, so I think I might have found it. Actually, it looks like it might be, oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not, see it dripping, but it looks like to be the, let me get a little closer here. Yeah, definitely the heater hose connector. That things are super common for failures, an O-ring in there, and this thing's got 200,000+ miles. Them things are probably heat soaked and expanded and garbage and all that good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and assess that, but I don't see, like we were talking with the water pump, I don't see any trails down there, but, oh man, look at that. Looks like our T might be, all right, yeah, I see this. Looks like his T is leaking as well. You see them crimps from the factory, so looks like we're gonna assess that guy. And honestly, because we're into it, I didn't see anything on the radiator aspect, but we're gonna pull that water pump anyways, guys. I know those gaskets are really common for failure, and I'm hoping to see one that's kind of premature to show you. But in this case, we're still gonna show you how to change that water pump gasket, or water pump in this case, and then also those heater hose fittings, and show you that. So let me burn to the store, grab what I need. I'll be right back with you. All right, made it back from the store, guys. So we got our one heater hose. If you notice, it's missing the quick disconnect end. I'll show you what I got there. This goes to our overflow jug, and this goes to the water pump. There's one of them. I just got 3 5/8 for the other, and that just clamps on the water pump and goes up to another quick connect. So what I grabbed an upgraded style. Dorman makes them. You can see the part number. These guys are metal, so they're aluminum anyways, versus the good old plastic ones that always break all the time. This way here, we're good. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it can't leak by any means. It's still an O-ring, but at least they got to snap off like the rest of them. So that's why we went that route, because they do sell these with the ends on it. But basically, you're going to end up obviously with a, you know, ready to go. So something else I wanted to show you real fast. This tool here, Lyle Tools makes. There's other manufacturers. I know. I think OTC, a couple other guys make it too, but I'll drop a link below for the tool. But that guy there is meant to snap in there to release those fingers. So if you've ever dealt with a GM heater hose, they're a real pain in the behind to get off there. So at least this way, you can get around there and unsnap those clips. I did grab a belt because you know what? We're there, right? We're gonna pull the water pump anyways, change those gaskets like we said. And then on that note, the AC belt, I mean, what's the worst gonna happen? You just get warm. This belt breaks, you're on the side of the road. So, all right, basic stuff. We're gonna start by pulling the engine cover off. So let me grab a 5/16 nut driver that'll pull these loose, get our air box out of the way, and then, all right, so loosen this guy up here. Pretty basic stuff. I'm sure you guys can sort that out. All right, unhook your vent line, or PCV I should say. And get this right out of your way. So, give us a lot more room, kind of exposing a little more things here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and probably pull our heater hose so we can actually get that draining. And at least that way we can start working on getting that replacement. And then on that point, we're gonna start working on the water pump extraction. All right, we're gonna go and bust this lower hose loose. Now this is gonna drain the reservoir and the water pump and most of the block. So that's our biggest thing, get this dude drained. And then at that point, we're going to pull our lower hose as well. Now remember, the thermostat's on this side, so it only frees up the coolant that is above this level in the radiator, blocked off by here, and the rest of the coolant in the block comes out through this dude and this dude. So let's get this pulled. All right, guys, ready for the mess. This is where it sucks. And hope you catch some of it in the pan. You ready for this? Here we go. Let's grab the other one. All right, there's the rest of that antifreeze. All right, so we're pulling this clamp out of the way. This is for our coolant reservoir. All right, so I got that tool put around the inner line there. I'm gonna get that out of the way and we'll deal with that other one here in a second. So it kind of just shoves into the hose and then releases. All right, so we got the hoses disconnected. And like I said, the one hose, guys, is just a piece of 5/8 with an end on it, right? So we're gonna put that new metal end on. And then here is the other hose. Same thing we showed you earlier. We're just gonna put that metal end on it, and here's where it went up to the coolant reservoir. So I've kind of reassessed what we're gonna do. On this truck here, we're not gonna pull the shroud. We're actually just gonna take the fan loose. And by doing that, that should give us enough room to go ahead and set the fan forward or pull it out, and then we can get to taking the water pump off. Now that is 6 10mm bolts, an upper and lower hose, and a belt. So not a big deal. We'll show you that real fast. Now we're gonna do the old air hammer trick on the fan clutch. A lot of people disapprove. It does mar up the fan clutch, but it's my truck. I don't care. So there is more professional ways. You can get a big wrench and a hammer. They do make an attachment for an air hammer. I don't have it, but it gets the job done. So we'll get this out of our way. Get this upper hose out of the way. This is where it gets pretty quick, guys. So we're going to take our belt loose, 15mm. Get that guy out of our way. We are replacing it, so we'll toss it. If you're unfamiliar with how to route the belt, take a picture. It helps. So, now obviously the tensioner is gonna come off, but we'll do that outside, or actually we don't need to take it off on this one because we're not changing the water pump. We got 6 10mm bolts. Go. let's take a look at those gaskets. So if you guys look right here, it's starting to kind of sound stupid when I say swell, but you can almost see a texture difference. Now these ones weren't leaking, but by all means they were on the verge of it. And they are practically JB welded on there. So definitely a good insurance policy by changing them. All right, so the biggest thing is, like we talked about a second ago, it's just an insurance policy for me. Now, you don't have to do that until it's a problem. I just know at some point it will be, and when you pull that lower hose here, you're gonna lose the majority of your coolant. So at that point, let's get her put back together, guys. That's what we were going for. All right, so something I like to do, I got our gaskets on there. I kind of like to put a couple bolts in there so they don't swing around. It's kind of a pain in the butt to set it in there that way, but at least that way you know the gaskets aren't moving around. Realistically, they could move and you might stick the bolt hole through here or something, you know. So, let's see if we can set her in one unit here. All right, get her topped off. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up real quick and let it run. Of course, put your exhaust outside, but we're gonna back the truck out in just a hot second. All right, you guys may laugh here, but I like to use the old spring clamps. I mean, the biggest thing is if you ever put a screw clamp on, they almost seem to loosen up after a little while, and you gotta tighten them again. So they use these for the factory for a reason. Now, granted, they can rust and they can break and whatever, but that's what I got. It's gonna work. Let's do it. All right, so kind of cloned it. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of these dudes, but you got to use them when you ain't got the right spring clamps. We just basically duplicated the other hose, assembled this guy. Now let's get them put back on. All right, make sure you lay these things out right and just identify, because I mean, not that it matters if you get them backwards, they would just flow through the heater core backwards, but this is gonna help with the layout, how it fits on the engine. And then always spray a little bit of something in there, some WD for that O-ring, because they are dry. And then you should hear it just snap, and that's it, she's on. All right, get her topped off. We're gonna go ahead and fire it up real quick and let it run. Of course, put your exhaust outside, but we're gonna back the truck out in just a hot second. Been out here running for about 15 minutes. Let's take a look. Nope. Coolant still up to the top. Check. The belt's still on. Check. One thing's nice too is always check to see if you got pressure, and she's holding pressure. That's a good sign. Let's go check at our temp. I'm gonna slip and fall this. Gotta love all the ice. Oh, what do we got? Sitting right at 210, guys. That is perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. On that note, sometimes you got to work on the boring stuff, right? But I appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next one.